Hey guys, it's Jordo and Seth. Today we are talking about starting with the end in mind. See, I was already thinking about the end of this video. I forgot all about the beginning.
Yep.
Today is all about starting your business with the end in mind. What do we mean by that? Today we're gonna answer 3 questions. 1, why is it important? We're gonna cover that. 2, what end exists? What are the types of ends for you to have in mind? And 3, what is right for you? All right, let's dive in.
All right, let's do it.
So starting with the end in mind, question number 1, why is it important, Seth?
Because if you're not very careful and prescriptive about how you build it from the start, I believe that it's gonna get away from you. I kind of think of like starting a business like flying a kite. The further you get into it, the further your kite, you let the string out on your kite, and the easier it is for it to just kind of really get away from you. So I think if you're not actually like really conscious and very like prescriptive about how you're building it from the start, you might end up with something that isn't what you wanted.
So you're saying it has to do with how happy you are with what happens to your business?
Yeah, I think that as you and I know, it's a massive investment. Even if you do it thinking it's only gonna be a couple hours a week for you, it will inevitably kind of take over a good part of your life. So I think starting with the end in mind is super important, because it's anything you do, if you don't actually have a vision for the end product, you're just kind of doing something, you know? If you don't like have the vision, you're just kind of hoping for the best.
It kind of allows you to make decisions.
Exactly.
Which a great example I'm thinking of is starting with the end in mind. We started our garage cleaning and organization company with the end in mind. And because we already had the end in mind, we knew after 8 months in that the original name we had wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
If our garage cleaning company had a different end in mind, we would have never had to change our name to Periwinkle, but we needed that global name, that name that could turn into anything.
Yeah.
It didn't have the word garage in it. It just was ambiguous, arbitrary.
Yeah.
So I agree. It's very important to have an end in mind. And if you don't, you're right. It's like a kite just flying in the wind. You could end up in a tree. You could end up being like those guys that like literally their kite pulls you in the air and it drops into the ground and they break their legs.
Right. Yeah, and I also think that if you start with the end in mind and you're clear about it, either if just you starting a business or if it's your partners or you start with employees, if you're clear about what the end is, it will help dictate your decisions as you move along the path. You're always gonna have tough decisions that don't have a clear answer, but if you've already determined what the end is and what the goal is, you can always make sure that you're making decisions that'll move you closer towards the goal. And you won't get distracted and kind of veer off.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good segue into our question number 2.
Okay.
What ends exist? So when you're starting your own company, there are obviously different reasons for why people start a business.
Yeah.
What reasons can you think of?
So, I mean, most common obvious reason is people want passive income. I think that is one of the biggest draws of entrepreneurship, right? People are like, hey, I got a day job.
That's the glory of a YouTube channel, baby. We'll take a diaper commercial. We'll take anything, man. $5 a month, send it my way.
Not picky.
Passive income, I'm all about it.
I think passive income is a big one. Now, how passive entrepreneurship actually is a whole different story we can talk about another time, but I think people see entrepreneurship and they're like, oh my gosh, it would be so great to start a business and get all this passive income. Keep my day job, keep my benefits, keep my family, keep my gym time, keep my Netflix time. I'll just start a business and during the lunch hour and make a bunch of passive income.
Yeah.
Not how it works.
Another one, that's definitely a great reason to start a company with the end in sight.
What else?
To create it to the level where it's just a minimal passive income.
Yeah.
Another one that I can think of is selling, and I think about tech.
Yeah.
So Seth and I, we have tons of ideas. We have this one idea that we were just gonna build the app and then Google was gonna buy it from us because they would have used it. And so we would have built that company. We decided not to for tons of reasons.
We might need to revisit that.
Yeah, startup capital to build an app and get into the tech industry is a lot more than we felt comfortable with at the time. But that would be an end in sight. We want to build this app and get bought by a big fish. We want to get swallowed up and then be done with it and make a quick $500,000 $1 million.
Okay. So we have passive income, the exit, or the build and flip model. You know, also lifestyle, pretty common where we live in Tulsa. I would say most entrepreneurs are lifestyle business builders. You know, they're wanting to open up a restaurant, cook their own food. They're wanting to open up a coffee shop. They want to open up, or you know, they want to buy a bunch of houses and kind of.
They want to flip homes.
Yeah, flip homes or do like long-term leasing. Build a portfolio of homes, do long-term leasing. That would be a lifestyle business.
Yeah, pretty much anybody that starts a restaurant, it's lifestyle.
Yeah.
People don't typically buy restaurants because as soon as the owner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You just don't know what you're doing. You can't come in and.
Yeah, I think anything that's more like cash flow, labor driven always seems to be lifestyle businesses. Yeah. You know?
Okay, so we have lifestyle, we have exits, we have passive income.
Yeah.
Another one is, and pretty much the only other one I can think of, is building a business for a legacy.
Oh,
one that you pass down to your family.
Okay. So maybe that's like a segue off of lifestyle, or maybe a close cousin, but
close cousin.
It would be different because if you're building a legacy business, one that you know you want to hand down to your kids one day, you can't build a business that is centered around your expertise. Say you're an accountant. Yeah. You can't build a big accounting firm if you're not positive your kids are going to be accountants and they can take it over, right?
Yeah, but most of the time they do. Like I was looking at architectures last night and I came across this one and it's a dad and you can tell the dad's like 60 years old and then the next level guy is his son, same last name, about 20 years younger, about 25 years younger. I was like, oh, look at that, they're both architects. Yeah. Because it just is easy. Your dad started this successful architecture company while you're in college. You're like, I'm just gonna go into architecture, take over my dad's business. Yeah. I would do that. If my family had a business, I would probably go into the same business so I could run that thing one day because you take pride in a family thing. So that's a great reason to build a company is so that your family can run this thing down the road. That's true. And even if they decide not to run your business, you can still start your business with that in mind. Okay. For a lifestyle and becoming a legacy. Yeah. Are there any other ones we're not thinking of?
Not that I can think of. I think well, I'm sure there are, but those are the big. I would say those are the big 3 or 4 for sure. Yeah.
Maybe people want to start a business just because they want to change things. Like they don't care about making money.
Oh, that's true. Charity. It could be like an impact category. Where they want to like start a business. It's not going to necessarily be a massive passive income vehicle. It's not going to necessarily be a big exit or a big purchase one day or sale, I guess. And it's not going to be a lifestyle business because it doesn't generate enough cash flow to pay for your life. Nor is it a business that's going to generate generational cash flow. Ooh. Yeah. So
there's a lot of reasons why you could.
Yeah, it's a business you would basically build, and I think of like a nonprofit, something you could do where you raise money over the course of a year, and then you go build schools somewhere, or that's like a side hustle that wouldn't necessarily. I mean, you could take a salary from that, but
that's another good reason.
Yeah. I think impact's another category.
Yeah. So we gave you 5. There's probably more out there. Let's move on to question number 3. What end is right for you to have in mind? What end fits with your ability or your business for you to have in mind when you start your business?
And that is the $1 million question.
That is a $1 million question, but it's so important because if you're building a company for lifestyle reasons, that's important because you're going to build your company to make it a lifestyle business. Whereas when you're a giant VC firm, venture capitalist firm, when you buy a company, as soon as they buy a company, their goal in mind is to exit every time. Their goal is to increase profitability.
Yep.
They don't care about the customers. They don't care about anything else. They want to increase the profitability, lower the cost, and sell to somebody else now, right?
Yep.
Most of the time.
Yep. Increase sales, lower costs, or increase productivity.
Yeah.
3 ways to drive the bottom line up.
Yep.
But yeah, to your point, I actually have a call scheduled today with an old coworker of mine from San Francisco who has gone to like 3 or 4 awesome companies. Awesome companies. I mean, it's Silicon Valley, Bay Area. You're working at the coolest of the coolest companies. You know, free lunches
Best
every
game
day.
on point.
Yeah, free swag. And he's just super frustrated with work, and he's wanting to talk to me about how to make the transition from being an employee into starting to work for yourself, or at least starting to build things on your own. You know, and I think one of the questions I'm going to ask him is like, what is your goal? Are you wanting just to supplement your life? Are you wanting to eventually like just be able to live off your business? Are you wanting to just work really hard for 3 years and try to build something specifically to sell? And, you know, hope to like make that quick exit and get that cash in the door?
Yeah.
Because I think you have to know that up front.
Yeah, you do. And it kind of gives you like stepping stones. If you don't have the goal in mind, let's say that your goal is to just have a passive income.
Yeah.
If your goal is to have a passive income, well, when you know that you're just trying to get to a passive income, there's no stress on you or pressure to grow your company into a gigantic company. Let's use the YouTube channel for example. If all I'm wanting is a passive income and I'm not doing it for lifestyle or to exit, then the frequency of how often I would post videos and how I would do my videos and how much time I would put into my videos would all be different. And
yeah, and I think, well, you're bringing up a good point, because this might not be the first question you ask and then you make a decision on what to do based on this question, but I think what you want to do will limit your choices on what the end could be. So us starting a YouTube channel, we're not going to be able to sell this to anyone one day, because guess what? You and I are the entire channel. Right? We have no like intellectual property, we have no piece of technology, we have no necessarily like customer base that somebody else could go serve. And when we started this YouTube channel, we started it with the end in mind, as a lifestyle. We wanted to do this because we knew we would enjoy it. We want to get better at being on camera. I remember you said specifically, I only want to do this if it's as long as it's fun.
As long as this is fun, we're gonna keep doing it.
So, and I agree. I kind of wanted to do it for the same reason. I think it would be fun to talk about our experience, try to help people, because I think there's something to be said about like hearing from the peers that you have that are in the same trenches that you are. We're not yet sitting pretty, not, you know, sleeping like a baby every night. So
we don't take a vacation every year like most entrepreneurs claim to. We're grinding. We're grinding, and we're giving you a view of the trenches from where we are, not from where people have already gotten out.
So bringing it back full circle, you decide first what you want to do, what you want to build, who you want to be, and then that will then govern what your potential exit options are. You know, so
I got one last question for you, Seth. Of the 5 ends in sight that we talked about, we got lifestyle, we got exits, legacy, passive income, and impact. Of those 5, which do you think will create the most successful business?
Ooh, can there be blends?
There can be blends.
I think then some blend of legacy and impact would be arguably like the most responsible business for you to build. Not necessarily like the best business, but like if you build a legacy business and you build an impact business coupled, I think you're going to be helping people, and you're going to be building a business for the long term. It's not going to be centered around Jordan Evans. It's not going to be the Jordan Evans show. It's going to be a business that's adding value to people, and will be transferable to another person.
I agree with you. I agree, but I'm very opinionated that I believe the exit end in sight is the worst one you could go with, because if you're building your business with exit intention from the very beginning, you have blinders on so close that you're not listening to consumer feedback. You really don't care about your employees.
Yeah, you're making
you're only
decisions.
making decisions based on the selling. I gotta sell this thing. Like you don't like love and nurture necessarily.
Yeah, I think you would cut corners too.
You would cut corners, cut costs. Like we don't need a CRM. Write it down on paper.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not our decision to make, right?
Our decision. It's your decision.
It's your decision to make. And I think it's, I mean, I fantasize about the building a business for the exit all the time because there's just something peaceful about getting a big chunk of cash one day.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you might be sitting on a couple $1 million and then asking yourself, now I have an entire another problem. I gotta figure out how to place this money.
What do I do with my
I gotta
taxes?
figure out how to manage this money. I'm gonna have a massive tax liability next year.
Yeah.
So
now when you get married, you gotta get a prenup. That's on you, buddy. You should have got married before you got rich.
maybe a conversation for another episode.
Yeah. Get prenups if you're rich before you get married, just in case.
Would you actually do that though?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't know. It depends on how rich I am.
Because you just never know.
You just never know. Like nobody gets married with the intention of getting divorced, yet the divorce rate is over 50%.
Yeah.
Nobody gets married planning on getting divorced. So.
Yeah, and the small business failure rate is higher than the divorce rate.
Yeah.
So.
That being said, anyways, we digress. It's important to have an end in sight.
It is important to have an end in sight. All right, so let's go back over. What did we talk about today, and what's the takeaway?
The takeaway is you can't grow your business successfully if you have no plan and no direction. So it's kind of like having an end in sight. It's a compass for your business.
Yeah.
It's a compass.
It is.
So you're a ship on the sea and you want to go north. If you're wanting to exit, you want to go east. If you want a legacy, you want right or west. If you want passive income, etc., etc.
Yep.
So whenever wind's blowing you around, you never lose sight of where you were going when you started this thing.
Yeah.
It's a compass for your business.
You're the founder, you're the entrepreneur. It is your job to make sure that you are making the decisions that are leading you towards the goal, towards the end in sight that you decided back when you started. You're the one holding the compass. It's your job.
You are Ferdinand Magellan circumnavigating the business world.
Yeah.
I know a little history.
Do you?
Yeah, my dad's a
Sounds
history
like it.
teacher. So.
Jeez.
All right, guys. This was fun.
This was fun.
We enjoyed it.
Thank you for your
Peace
time.
out.
Go make a difference in the world.